Welcome back to me today, guys. It's time for another anime first impression video. Hey, I said it before and I'll say it again. I am only doing a few. I'm hoping to do as many as I can. I'm not being positive about it because I know it's a very, very busy season of my life right now, and gotta pay bills. Let's just put it like that. So, but I'm trying my best to release as many first impression videos, and this is definitely the ones that you'll be seeing released at least at this first week and a half are the ones that for sure I wanted to watch or at least try. Just because I gotta give my attention to the ones that I want to watch, right? This is one that I reviewed a few volumes actually in my channel. I think I reviewed up to volume 5 or 6. It was back when Yem Press and I were slowly coming in to reviews, and they would send me maybe 2 or 3 once in a while, and this was one that they kind of reoccur, always sending me a volume. Now I think they're up to like 12 or 11 volumes. I kind of stopped reviewing it, so fell behind on it, but I'm so glad that I watched the first episode because it was a refresher, and I kind of completely forgot how good the series was, to be honest. Before anything, if you haven't done so by now, make sure you subscribe to my channel, give some love by commenting, liking, and sharing. You guys can follow me on social media in the description below. Like I said, I'll try my best to release as many first impression videos, but no promises. Just I'll throw that out there. It's busy. It really is. So please do subscribe though. I will be releasing stuff. Okay, so this is on Netflix. This is, I think, the only one that's releasing week by week on Netflix. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is the only one. Delicious in Dungeon. A few things to throw out there. One, usually when Netflix started a episode by episode series, which they've had about a year or so, maybe a little bit more, that they've been trying this out, they would start them off 2 3 weeks late. Now they start them off in the first week, so throwing it out there, congrats, Netflix is finally getting it. Secondly, they release both the sub and the dub, which again, Netflix is finally getting it. We want series to be released like they're being released in Japan on time, dub and subbed. Hey, if it's a few hours later or a day later, we understand, but not 4 weeks afterwards and then have to wait 6 months for the dub, right? So they're finally getting it. I started watching it sub. Then when I realized that there was a dub, I switched to dub, and the dub actually is pretty good. And the biggest thing about this series is the comedy. So because they're the whole premises of the story is them eating monsters. So even if we wanted to, the monsters don't really exist, right? But they do mimic some things that we could potentially copy and use ingredients from this world to make plates like they do, which I'm sure some TikToker or YouTuber who is into food and cooking, at least more than I am, will probably recreate some of these plates. But for now, it's monster food. So really, the big pull to this is the comedy. It's actually pretty funny. A lot of the side comments are the best, and the English dub actually did a pretty good job on doing that comedy. So premises is we have pretty big group of adventurers fighting this red dragon in the beginning. A girl is eaten, and before she's completely devoured, she basically does a return spell. Well, this is where adventures end up. We have a shield guy, we have a locksmith dude, an elf, and then 2 other characters that end up resigning. They don't want to be part of the group anymore, and they leave. Well, they put it to themselves that they're gonna go back into the dungeon, even though they have no resources, they have no money, they have nothing on them but what they have, like their actual tools and weapons. and shields. That's all they have, and they're gonna go back and rescue the girl. Because apparently, in this world, if someone dies in the dungeon and you recover their body, then you can resurrect them. So she's not completely lost yet. Well, after a few babbling of "I want to go," "You should guys shouldn't go," "No, I want to go," so on and so forth, they decide going, and our main character says that they need to survive, right? And they can't be spending money on food, and they can't be spending time on going out of the dungeon to get supplies and back in the dungeon. So he says we have to do everything and anything to survive, which means we have to eat monsters. Now the elf girl is not for it. The pig guy, he's all right. Well, they end up finding a scorpion and a mushroom monster, and granted, they're doing this in front of other adventurers who are gathering to eat their food. They're like, "What the heck are they doing?" Right? And they're trying to cook them, and another adventurer who is our fourth main character. These all are kind of the main characters. He shows up. He is a dwarf, and he volunteers to help him cook, and he ends up being a expert. He explains that he's been there for 10 years and he's been learning and training himself to know how and what's the best techniques to cook these monsters. So he ends up helping them cook them with some slime monster that he finds and other herbs and plants that he finds on tombstones, which again, weird, but you gotta survive, right? So they all end up eating it except the elf, and then she eventually gives in and eats it too. And behold, it's delicious. The last third of the episode is them still adventuring, and she gets attacked by a plant, and they kill the plant, and then they start preparing it to kill, to eat, and that pretty much, in a nutshell, is the first episode. I want to say the last segment, which with the whole plant thing, was a little extra. They could have ended with the dwarf joining the group, and that's pretty much it. But it is what it is. We do learn a little bit more information of the dungeon itself, but essentially each like area of the dungeon is pretty much its own ecosystem, and different monsters reside in different areas, and you know they themselves are experienced adventurers because they got to the point of the red dragon, but they've also lost two of their three technically, because one was eaten, and then two are the ones that basically retired, or not retired, but they resigned. So really, they're going in with less resources, less manpower. So even if they are experienced, they're gonna struggle a little bit. So I really like this series. I really enjoyed it when I read it. It is highly on the food side, so if you're not into food anime, then maybe this was not for you. But it's very comical. I really enjoyed it. I like that they're releasing episode by episode, both sub and dub, on Netflix. So props to them for finally getting it. And we'll see what else happens in the near future, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this. If you haven't done so by now, subscribe to my channel. Give some love to my channel by commenting, liking, and sharing. I will have more first impression videos. There should be at least 3 or 2 by now out already, so check those out. And thank you guys so much for watching this. Like always, don't be strangers. See you guys.